Hello right bags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome to an ARK video. Today we're taking another look at the information we covered the other day. I told you guys that we may be getting a reveal of Extinction coming. It looks like that is not happening. But almost as important, we were complaining about, well, I was complaining about the fact we haven't had any real updates and we don't know what's going on with ARK at the moment. One thing that is going to be happening is the Primitive Plus. They've finally updated it on PC and them changes hopefully will come to console. No ETA yet, but we're going to go through the patch notes so you know exactly what's happening with the update that's coming, mostly enabling Primitive Plus to work with all the new changes they made with the TLC update, and Primitive Plus is going to basically work on Scorched Earth and Aberration properly now. But just a quick defense of what goes on when I do a news video. Some of you guys were a bit salty saying I should have asked the question first because apparently it was revealed a little while later that it wasn't going to be the new Extinction DLC. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this post here is a media event or it's some sort of games event in France and Jade is going, he's one of the community managers. It does say in this translation the last DLC will be on show, but what it meant was it was the last Aberration DLC. This was confirmed by Jade himself. Now I did ask, and this is the right reason I'm saying this, because I do ask questions. Obviously I don't have a direct line to people. Half the time I don't get any responses from people when I talk to them. And I don't ask them questions all the time because, quite frankly, why are they going to answer just one YouTuber? But if I think it's really important or I think it's something they will definitely maybe respond to, I always try and shoot them a message or I tweet at them and ask them. Now luckily Jade is in my Discord and I did actually at him and ask him if it was going on, are they showing off the old or the new DLC. That was at 10 o'clock, I made my video at 3 o'clock, a good 5 hours later. But it wasn't until my video was published that Jade went ahead and responded. Just to clear it up, there won't be a preview of Extinction at the event. The messaging is kind of lost in translation. By latest they mean the latest released Aberration. So it was kind of our fault. I did think it was a bit odd showing off this brand new trailer for a brand new DLC at some small gaming event in France. It just didn't seem like the right situation. But you never know, stranger things have happened. But a big shout out to Jade for clarifying it and actually releasing something, and a big shout out to the person that created this thread on Reddit where he got an answer. And I do appreciate that Jade eventually got round to telling me the answer that I needed to know. I did stress in the video it was definitely speculation and we don't know what's going on. What do you guys think about it? And we were really talking about the state of the game, where the updates were gone and why we haven't received that trailer. It's all part and part of following ARK. So if you don't like that kind of content from me, you don't have to watch. Simply just don't click on any of my videos. Now on to the good stuff, Primitive Plus. We've been waiting for an update for so long to add some of the stuff that's been missing, particularly the TLC dinosaurs. If you don't know, the TLC hasn't been applied to Primitive Plus. The last round of TLC, none of the character skins, the character models were updated and it's missing a bunch of features. There are some also other smaller changes that are happening. You're going to be able to carry more weight now in ARK Survival Evolved just on yourself. They've recently increased the slot size from vaults to something massive, and now they've increased the bag size limit to 600 slots. They've also had a fix for dinos starving when they have access to food, which has been in there such a long time. I can't believe it's taken this long to fix it, but at least it is fixed now. And moving on to Primitive Plus. So if you've been dying to play Primitive Plus but always worried about it being broken and buggy, hopefully it's going to be coming to Xbox and PS4 soon. There is no ETA, like I said. This has only just gone live on PC, but it's finally updated the Rex, the Procopticon, the Gigantopithecus, the Direwolf, Direbear, Argentavis, Parasaur, Raptor, Sarcosuchus, Spinosaur and Triceratops. I'm not going to go through all that stuff. You should know by now what some of them creatures have got new abilities and what they generally look like with their new looks. But what is important is going over the final little bits for the Primitive Plus actual details, which there isn't that much here actually. The update today adds previously missing Primitive Plus engrams to the ARK expansions Aberration and Scorched Earth, as well as missing saddles to previously released creatures. Non-primitive items have been removed from Scorched Earth and Aberration drops, and the hazard suit has been added to the advanced workbench in Aberration. These changes now allow for a Primitive Plus experience on both of ARK's expansion packs. So now you can actually play Primitive Plus properly. We've been doing it on our servers occasionally, and some of my guys have been testing stuff out on their own little servers that you could put stuff in supply drops, but it made it really super hard on Aberration and there was lots of things just broke with it. So if you're really desperate to play Primitive Plus but you want to do it on a brand new map with new experiences, you can go and do that now on Scorched Earth and Aberration and it will be fully fledged, it will be fully supported. But remember, this is PC only. There is no details about when it's come to Xbox One or the PS4. We can only presume in around 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks even. Primitive Plus is a fantastic mode. It's probably been one of the most enjoyable game experiences I've had with Ratbags. We built an amazing city out of all the Primitive Plus items on PS4. We had an open server and everyone could just come and join and do what they wanted in terms of building something for the community. Really loads of fun. Primitive Plus is so popular because it hasn't got all the stuff that you would find in normal ARK, like the tech engrams and all the advanced materials, and people really like that simple way of doing it and playing the game, and I think that's why it's so popular. It's taken a long time to get to this point where all the saddles have been added for Primitive Plus. There have been so many times when Primitive Plus has been months and months behind. I think at one point Xbox One was around 6 months behind in terms of an update behind PC. That is an incredibly long time for something that's meant to be an official mod. That's why people get so upset, and that's why people really have this feeling that Primitive Plus is a great game mode and we wish we could have more of it. But the fact is, we're not getting any more new content. As far as I'm aware, lately there hasn't been any other news that have contradicted that. But a while ago, Jen, the community manager, stated that it was feature complete. There wouldn't be any more content coming to Primitive Plus other than bug fixes. We all thought that when the turn of the year happened and Aberration came out and we was talking about TLC, I even put it in my top 8 things to expect in ARK Survival Evolved. Primitive Plus would get a substantial update and we might even get new content. But they aren't interested in that. They just want it to run well enough that it fits in with the main game, but they're not adding new content. If you don't know what the content actually is, it was meant to be lots and lots of stuff to do with adding all sorts of things like proper roles. It was meant to be a roleplay led sort of, you know, game mode where you would actually take the time to be a craftsman of something. You would be a baker, you would be a ironsmith, you would be a trader, and you would have perks and skills only for that kind of role. That was originally what the creator really wanted, and more stuff to make it more old-fashioned but more complex with different materials and old-fashioned materials. So it's a real shame he's never got to fulfill that whole complete thing. There are other mods out there like Survival Plus that do that job as well now. So maybe that's why he hasn't bothered, and obviously he was busy managing other things and doing stuff to create with it. But it's just a shame because it's definitely one of the most popular game modes. People really talk about Primitive Plus a lot, and hence why I cover it quite a bit. So at least we're getting that. We're getting it fixed, and hopefully we're getting the saddles come. It's about time. I'm not going to say a big whoopee do and thank you to ARK or Wildcard because I do think this stuff should have been done earlier. But at least it's progress. And thinking of something a bit more positive, all game maps have added a brand new map, resource map for Ragnarok. So if you actually want to see where stuff is, it's a fully fledged 2D map. So if you want to see more detail on something, you really want to see if it's got like a really good ridge on it and stuff like that, you can actually zoom in and you'll be able to take a really good look. It's pretty cool. I like the fact that you can like really get close up and personal and you can see all the formations of how it works, how the rocks look, how everything terrain features. Like I said, there isn't any resource at the moment, but it's just really interesting to see all the different landmarks, all the different rock formations. Now I've done the same for the island as well, and it's got locations of the caves, the underwater caves, as well as the obelisks and the caves on the ground. So I'm going to leave the link for this in the description and in the comments section. Go and check it out if you want to see a more detailed map of these maps on ARK Survival Evolved. I am Jade Plays Games for everything related to early access news and including ARK Survival Evolved. Make sure you got notifications turned on and make sure you're liking this video. I'll be back for more ARK news when we get something. If not, it'll be definitely on Monday when we review the weekly patch notes and the community crunch, or if anything exciting happens in tomorrow's live stream. Don't forget, this Thursday is going to be the second edition of the community live stream where they'll be showing stuff off from the community and going and reviewing over mods. I'll also leave the link down below and you can go check that one out. And while you're there, give me a follow as well, Jade Plays Games. I will be live streaming on Twitch a lot more in the future. Until next time, I'll see you ratbags later.